Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another Retro Wolf 88 GameCube Collection update video. Let's go! For those of you new to these videos, this is simply a video of me giving you all an update on the GameCube collection and my journey to recollect the entire US Black Label set of games. And in this video, I will also show you guys games that I got off camera from various sources. Sometimes I might have a little bit of footage to show. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our first update. I've got 4 games here that I had previously acquired with no manual. And of course, as a lot of you know, I'm only adding complete and box games to the collection. So if I'm missing the manual, that game does not get added to the collection until I get the manual. So I've got 4 games here that I got the manual for off eBay. And the first 2 games are actually games that I got from the Game Shack. And if you missed that hunting episode, I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. And those 2 games that are now complete and going into the collection are Gladius and Frogger's Adventures the Rescue. Next up is a game that I got from a really nice gentleman named Eli that reached out to me on Instagram. And we talked about him in the last GameCube collection update video, which I'll leave a link to in the description down below. And one of the games I got from him that did not have a manual is now complete, so it's going into the collection, and that game is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. And last but certainly not least is a game that I got from the Nostalgia Mall, which sadly, as a lot of you know, the Nostalgia Mall burned down. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll leave a link to that video in the description down below. But I also encourage you to check out the hunting episode I filmed there so that you can see how amazing this place was. And I really hope that they're able to rebuild and restart their business. But the game that is now complete and going into the collection from the Nostalgia Mall is Disney's Party. Next up are 5 games that I got from my good friend Carl, aka Retro Gaming Zone on Instagram. And if you are not following Retro Gaming Zone on Instagram, which you probably are because he has a lot of followers, what are you waiting for? I'll leave that information in the description down below. But he's a really good friend of mine, and he always reaches out to me when he has GameCube games, and he gives me a great price. So the 5 games that I got from Retro Gaming Zone are Geist, Teen Titans, Mario Party 5, Tony Hawk's Underground, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. So huge thank you to Carl, aka Retro Gaming Zone, for hooking me up yet again. Next up, another awesome person in our gaming community reached out to me because he actually doesn't live too far from me, and he saw my hunting episode about the Game Shack. His name is Brian. He reached out to me because he had a few GameCube games that he thought that I needed for the collection that he was willing to sell to me. So we met up at the Game Shack because I was going down there to get some games that we're going to talk about in just a minute, and he sold me 2 complete and box GameCube games for a fantastic price. So Brian, if you're watching this, thank you once again, good sir. I really appreciate you, and these games have gone to a good home, and I appreciate the great deal that you gave to me for these games. But the 2 games that I got from Brian are Dora the Explorer Journey to the Purple Planet and Road Trip. So thank you again to Brian for the hookup on those. Next up, Randy from the Game Shack, which again, the hunting episode for the Game Shack will be in the description down below. Randy reached out to me and said that he got some new GameCube games in and he wanted to set them aside for me in case I needed them. And of course I did. So I went down there to the Game Shack and I took a little bit of footage. So let's go ahead and roll some of that footage right now. Oh yeah, the Pokemon XD version GameCube. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. I don't have that one yet.
I traded that even Steven. It's got a glitch in it.
Yeah.
Eject button is hung up in it.
Is it? That's pretty easy to fix.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's giving a screen with not reading disk, which is kind of weird. But I just passed up a Zelda Wind Walker, Super Mario Sunshine, Twilight Princess. All of them are loose.
Yeah. So as you saw, Randy had some pretty good GameCube games set aside for me. Most of them did not have manuals, but that's okay because me and Randy worked out a really cool deal. He's starting to sell DVDs now at the Game Shack, and I have a ton of DVDs from that pallet lot I bought, which I made a video on that. If you want to check that out, description down below. So I took a ton ton of DVDs to Randy to really give him a good inventory of DVDs in trade for these GameCube games. And the 5 GameCube games are Eternal Darkness, no manual, Pikmin, no manual, SpongeBob SquarePants movie, no manual, Spider-Man, no manual, and Backyard Football, complete in box. So Backyard Football will be going into the collection. The other 4 will not be at this time. But Randy, if you're watching this, dude, thank you so much for working out that trade with me to save me some money and in turn get you some great DVD inventory for your store. Next up, on the way home from a future hunting episode that I filmed with my good friend Doug that you guys will see, I think that one comes out in July, so it's going to be a minute on that one. But on the way home from that hunting episode, me and Doug stopped at a awesome media store which also sells retro games. It's called Media Vault in Dayton, Tennessee, and I've got a little bit of footage from that store, so let's go ahead and roll some of that right now. Here we are at Media Vault. Pretty good selection. Pretty good selection of GameCube games. Let me see what I need. Okay, so I've gone through these GameCube games and I've got several picked out that I'm gonna buy. They're all CIB and the prices are really freaking good. I'm actually pretty shocked. All right, so I snagged 5 complete in box GameCube games from the Media Vault and I got them for a really good price. And those 5 games are Extreme G3, NHL Hits 2002, MLB Slugfest 2003, NBA Courtside 2002, and Monopoly Party. And I'm gonna see about possibly making a hunting episode, a full hunting episode at the Media Vault because they have 2 locations. And then there's another store nearby, so I might turn a hunting episode into hitting up 3 retro game stores, but we'll just have to wait and see. Next up, this stack of games, all complete in box. These are games that I actually got in future hunting episodes. I'm not going to tell you where I got them or how I got them. You'll have to wait on these episodes to come out to see. But all these games I got in hunting episodes that are not coming out until July and August because we're so ahead in videos. So I decided to go ahead and talk about these games in the GameCube collection update video and include them in the shelf insert section at the end of the video, but you'll see these games again in future hunting episodes, and those GameCube games are Pool Paradise, ATV 2 Quad Power Racing, Street Racing Syndicate, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Star Fox Adventures, F1 2002, All-Star Baseball 2003, and Cabela's Outdoor Adventures. And again, you will see exactly where I got those from and how I got those games in future hunting episodes, so be sure and stay tuned to the channel. Next up, I had yet another awesome member of the gaming community reach out to me on Instagram because he is a reseller and he sells games on Facebook Marketplace. His name is Dylan, really nice guy, really easy to work with, and he made me a good deal on some GameCube games that I needed, made me a great price. I'll leave a link to his Instagram and his Facebook Marketplace page in the description down below in case you want to check out what he's selling. 2 of these games are complete in box. 1 of them is no manual, so only 2 of them will be going into the collection at this time. But the 3 games are Legends of Wrestling, Call of Duty 2 Big Red One, and this is the game with no manual, The Sims 2 Pets. So thank you again, Dylan, for hooking me up. And again, folks, check out his Facebook Marketplace page in the description down below. Next up, a friend of mine that's local named Stuart, who hooked me up in a previous video with PN03 or PN3, however the hell you want to say it. He hooked me up yet again. He hooked me up not only with one of my favorite GameCube games of all time, one of my favorite games of all time, complete in box, but he also hooked me up with 2 really nice manuals for GameCube games. So here is the complete in box GameCube game he hooked me up with, Resident Evil 4. And then he hooked me up with 2 manuals. Now at the time, I had not yet gotten this game, Super Smash Bros. Melee, so this manual is, I'm just gonna sell this manual since I ended up getting a complete in box copy after the fact. But the next manual I actually do need, and that is Mario Party 7. So Mario Party 7 is the last Mario Party game that I need. So now that I got the manual for it, I'm going to be on the hunt for a copy without a manual that I can add the manual to and save a little bit of money. And he gave me a great price on these manuals. So Stuart, if you're watching, thank you, brother. And last but not least, on the way home from Owensboro, Kentucky, me and Devin stopped at a really cool indoor flea market that we just saw on the side of the road and just stopped on a whim. And I got 1 GameCube game that I thought that I needed at the time. I didn't look at my collection good enough, so it ended up being a duplicate, but I also got a few other things from this indoor flea market as well. So here's the GameCube game I picked up and the other items. And that GameCube game is Driven, which turns out I already had. And then I got NBA Street Volume 2 Greatest Hits, Gun, Turok Evolution, Call of Duty 2 Platinum Hits on the Xbox 360, and Minecraft PS4 Edition. Okay, folks, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, and that is the numbers. What I'm at so far on the collection, how much I've spent, how much it's worth, the estimated value, how much I've spent percentage-wise of the estimated value, how much my savings is, all that good stuff. And these numbers are really going to shock you as they have shocked me. All right, so let's talk about it. So the first number, I am up to 177 complete in box GameCube games, provided that I did my count right. We'll find out when I do the shelf insert, but I'm up to 177 complete in box GameCube games. And so far to date, I've spent $1,175. All right, now that may sound like a lot of money, but here's the estimated market value of all 177 games. The estimated market value is $3,642, which means that I've only spent around 32% of market value for all 177 complete in box games. So that means I've spent well below 50% market value so far to build the GameCube collection, which is amazing because my goal is to complete the collection at under 50% market value. So that leaves me with a estimated savings of $2,467. I am pretty happy with that, and I hope that I can maintain this level of savings, but it's going to get harder and harder once I get towards the end and I have to get all the heavy hitters and uncommon games. But I have a plan for that, which I'm going to share in a future video. But that is it for today's GameCube collection update video. Be sure and stick around after the outro for the shelf insert of all the games that are going into the collection from this video with the number they are in the collection. Folks, if you enjoyed it, hit that freaking like button. If you're new here, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the GameCube games that I showed in this video, and what do you think about how I'm doing so far with the GameCube collection? Let me know all that in the comments down below. And folks, as always, I appreciate you all tuning into the channel. Stay safe out there. Keep playing games and having a good time. I'll catch you all in the next video. Let's roll that shelf insert later.